Thank you so much for joining me today. I was just kind of sharing a little bit about you. Obviously, people have seen you on my stories quite a lot when you were here in Mexico. And I just really want women to be able to connect with your energy and share a little bit about yourself, and also like the magic that I've been able to experience with you through the medicines and through just your, incredible gifts in space holding. And then also we can talk a little bit about the Soul Rising retreat. So anyone that's seen the landing page will know that Yogi is joining us. Can't say I ever expected to bring a male facilitator into the space, but it just felt so aligned after the work that we've done together, the depths that you've helped me on my own healing journey, and just the magic that happens when we're in ceremony together as well. So I'd love for you to share a little bit about you. Obviously, I know a lot about you and your path, like your path within yoga, spirituality, and the medicine world would be amazing.
Yeah, so I got started when I was going through a really tough time in my late teens. I was having a lot of pain in my body, especially my back, and things were just not working very well for me in terms of my physical health, my emotional health, my mental health, and that's what got me into the path of yoga. And from there, it was just an incredible journey of self-discovery and healing. I will never forget the day when I was in my first trip to India and I actually experienced for myself that I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not this ego, I am just a point of awareness. And so this is one of the things which changed my life, because I no longer had to identify with whatever's going on with this body or whatever crazy thoughts might be happening in the mind. And this is something which got deeper and deeper, this kind of point of awareness that I was able to tap into through the practice of yoga. And then eventually, once I started on the path of working with these ancestral medicines, then it opened up a whole load of other layers of consciousness and allowed me to fully experience and understand our multi-dimensionality as human beings.
Amazing, thank you. And I'd love to tap in a little bit there to like the yogic path, and obviously Kriya Yoga, which is where you're a master in. And obviously I have experience, and the women at the last retreat experienced Kriya Yoga with you, and I can't even put into words like how you feel afterwards. It's just it's so much kind of grounding and inner peace. And I'd love you to share a little bit about your journey with yoga, because obviously you've been on the yogic path for a long time, and I don't think I've ever met anyone that embodies it the way you do.
Yeah, I mean, one of my philosophies in life is that I will either do something 100% or I will not bother doing it at all. So I really jumped into this yogic path. I discovered some incredible teachers in India who had had wisdom passed down through the generations into them. And through my own self-inquiry of, all these kriyas that we practice on this body, I would practice them to such an extent until I would fully understand within myself, what are these things doing to this body, or what are they doing to the mind, or what are they doing to the energetic pathways in the body. And that allowed me to then, achieve a kind of level of mastery where I had fully experienced all of that I could then pass that on to other people and allow them to also experience these benefits. As you said, after a Kaivalya Kriya Yoga class, you feel an incredible amount of inner peace. You feel very connected to every aspect of yourself, your body, your conscious awareness. And it's something which, if you practice it every single day, it brings you an incredible quality of life.
Amazing. I'd love maybe if you could just share a little bit more about like what Kriya Yoga is, because even though I've done 2 yoga teacher trainings, the Kriya part was such a tiny part of it. Your classes were the first full Kriya Yoga classes that I've ever experienced. I'm on this path, so I'm sure people are wondering like what it is and what the benefits are to it.
The first thing I would say is it's something which can only be experienced. It's very difficult to describe in words what we do in Kriya Yoga. And there's been many paths in Kriya Yoga. There's many different lineages of people who have learned it from different masters in especially the north of India. And it doesn't really look like your regular, vinyasa flow class, for example. We're not stretching the body and, uh, doing all that kind of stuff. It's very different kind of movements. We use a lot of our internal awareness of moving our prana or our vital force energy through the body in certain ways. We unblock the meridian channels, which are the channels which are linked to all of our organs. We unblock the nadis, which are our astral nerves. We work on the health of the entire physical body. We work on releasing emotions, traumas, old patterns which no longer serve us. And eventually, what it allows us to do is to become completely naked in front of ourselves, in that we've got rid of all the crap which is not us, and we're left only with ourselves. And when you're left only with yourself, it's the most beautiful experience you can imagine. It's pure love, it's pure joy, it's pure bliss, it's your natural state.
It's incredible, and again, you say it's quite hard to put into words. It is almost something you need to experience, and all I can share is from the classes that I've done with you, just how I felt afterwards. So calm, so regulated, and just such a deep feeling of inner peace. And ultimately, that's what everyone's wanting, right? When we look at the whole journey, the healing journey, the growth, the development, what do we want to feel inside? We want to feel peaceful rather than, chaotic and monkey mind and negative, self-dialogue. And I just find with the yoga, it's just it's another modality or tool that's bringing us home to ourselves and home to our body and home to who we truly are at the core. And I can't wait for everyone to experience more of it at the next retreat. So obviously, for anyone that doesn't know, you probably saw Yogi on my stories in the last throughout the last Soul Rising retreat. He had offered to come and teach a Kriya yoga class, and obviously we jumped at this. We were like, yes, please. But the girls, the women, connected so deeply to you. They all wanted you to stay and work in ceremony with us. So Yogi stayed and supported us in the ayahuasca ceremony that night, and it was, again, it's an experience you can't put into words. It was wild. It was crazy. It was pure magic. The healing that went on in that ceremony, it was deep, ancestral healing that was moved through by us as facilitators, and every woman in that circle. It was healing for not just ourselves but all of the women that came before us. And I really believe that would not have happened if you were not there. Even the energy, every ceremony we had was incredible, but that third one at the beginning, it was kind of dark, but not a scary dark. It was just so grounded. It was feeling your presence, feeling the masculine there, and it was just pure magic for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can dive into medicines a little bit now.
Yeah, definitely.
That's where.
Definitely. I think for me, obviously the yoga brought me to a certain level of awareness of myself, understanding of myself, and the medicines then brought me to a whole new level. And, my students say every time I go to work a bit even deeper with the medicines, they always notice the knock-on impact in the yoga classes, that there's even more transmissions reaching them, that there's even more depth to the practice, that there's more inner workings and understandings of how to unlock our bodies from the inside. And it's something which I love to combine these modalities, because one thing which I've told all of the people that have sat with me in ceremony before is we cannot just rely that we can only eat some medicines or drink some medicines and that's going to solve all of our life issues. We also need to put some effort. I'm not taking away from the medicines. Going to a medicine ceremony alone is an enormous amount of courage, is an enormous amount of effort. A lot of people have fear about that. So already taking that leap of faith already starts to unlock a lot of things. Last year, one of my students came to the south of Spain for one of the ceremonies, and she said that even when she just took that decision that, yes, I'm going to jump into the unknown, I'm going to trust Yogi and go for this, things already started to unlock within her, because that fire of the courage, that fire of the determination already starts to burn off crap that should not be inside of our bodies. So yes, it takes a whole amount of courage and determination to come and sit in ceremony with us and do that work, which is not always easy. Sometimes we see aspects of ourselves which we might find challenging to face, But equally, I will say, the medicine shows you your beauty. It shows you how incredible you are on the inside, and it allows you to tap into that. And so then comes back to the yoga. By then doing the work after you've sat in ceremony allows you to keep this deep internal awareness about yourself, patterns that we maybe have to let go of that the medicine might have shown you is there, allowing you to tap, as I said, especially through the Kaivalya Kriya Yoga, tap into this sensation of bliss, which the medicines often give you an incredible taste of, but we can tap into that. The tools are also inside of us. And in order to keep our evolution going. And this is one of the things which I know that you pride yourself on, Victoria, and it's something which I've witnessed in action, is that the integration that you give to the women after ceremony is incredible, because you understand how important it is that they integrate after the ceremony to kind of understand what they've been through and understand ways and tools that they can actually keep working with themselves so that they can make their life of a much higher quality through the medicine and the integration, the work afterwards as well.
Yeah, integration piece is so important, and that's what, we've talked about this a lot. It's something that it really I've felt has been missing from kind of the retreat space and from the medicine world. And we can have all of this clarity, this downloads, these messages, this healing come through the medicines, like this reclamation, coming home to ourselves. But we do have to take action. We have to go and put the things that we've learned about ourselves and about the world into practice. And just having that support makes it so much easier, and having people that you can connect with that have been through this experience, that have been through the experience, that have been through the integration process, and that can help you and support it. And ultimately what we're building here as well, it's not just retreats, it's sacred sisterhood, and these are relationships and friendships that go on for life. And what the other piece that we see as well is, when we're on this path or we're taking this leap, often, some relationships that we do have, they become more distant, or they kind of fall apart. And I see a lot of women being in that middle ground of, okay, I'm on this path, there's things in my life that don't align with me, but I'm on this alone because I don't have anyone. I don't have anyone that understands me, especially when we're becoming conscious and we've got a lot more awareness. And when we're still surrounded by people, and this is no judgment to anyone, but that have not started to wake up, that have not started to heal and actually to change the way they see the world, it feels really lonely. So that's a big part of the retreats, and what long term what we're building is that sisterhood, is that community, is that connection, so that we never feel alone. Because ultimately, when we look at things like, when I speak to women that are suffering with depression or anxiety, especially depression, it's often that place of, because they just feel alone in this world, because there's so much in their life that isn't in alignment. And that includes the people that they end up just isolating, turning inwards and feeling alone, where it's like, actually it's here, it's waiting for you, the community, the connection. We just have to take the steps to go out and find that, right? And to say yes to it.
I think that's so important what you said, and that's what, both of us, I think we very much pride ourselves on. Anyone that's in my yoga community, lots of them have never met each other. They've practiced online for the past 3 years with each other. They love each other in their hearts so much, and they feel that sense of, we are all brothers and sisters. And that's something which I witnessed on your retreat last month, that they really became sisters. And so what we're doing, of course, goes beyond, we're not just serving people some medicines, we're not just teaching people some yoga, we're actually trying to bring people together, as you said, so that we have this sense of community, which is probably nowadays more important than ever, with all the utter insanity which is going on around us on planet Earth.
Yeah, 100%. And the way we do it with the retreats is, obviously there's the integration support afterwards, but we do have everyone in a WhatsApp chat. And we're 5-6 weeks out from the last retreat, and this chat is popping off every single day. Like, the women are so connected. And it's so beautiful because they're able to, obviously I'm there to support, but they're actually holding space and supporting each other. You know, if someone's moving through something difficult and challenging, they've got another 10 women that are there cheering them on, that are supporting them, that are holding space, that are, you know, pouring into them with love. And it's just, ultimately what we come out of these experiences is realize, like, I am so supported. I'm so supported. I am so loved. And I get to be myself. You know, this is a big piece with the medicines as well, is it helps us take off the masks, right? We all wear masks. Or most people do, where we're showing up in the world in the way that we think we should, or that we've been conditioned to. We're doing the things in the world that, again, we've been conditioned to. We're following a path that may not be in alignment. You know, I did that for 35 years. And ultimately, it's having that connection with people that are going to support you on the path that you're going into now. Like and ultimately what it is, we're creating a life that we want to live. And you get to do that. And the only way we get to do that is from an authentic place. It's from a place of love. It's from taking off all these masks and actually going, fuck, I'm not going to show up the way I think I should. I'm going to show up the way I want to.
Yeah, I think that's such a fundamental thing, right? And in the end, we all just want to do what we want to do. We want to be as we want to be. It's very liberating when you get rid of the masks, all of the characteristics that society has given us, all the programs, we get rid of that, then we can just be us. It's so incredibly liberating. There was just a couple of weeks ago in Spain here, I was serving some medicine to one woman. She's around 40 years old. And after the session, she said, we were having our integration call, and she said, you know what? I was able to go out in public for the first time in my adult life without makeup on. So literally, she had been putting a mask on her face for her entire adult life. And she found it so liberating because she saw her inner beauty. She saw, I am so beautiful and I don't need to put this mask on anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, you know, it's these masks that we wear, especially with women, around like how we look and beauty standards. You know, women's bodies, women are objectified in society today. And you know, I you know, you've seen photos, you recognize me, right? You know, I used to have everything done, and you know, I had this having to be perfect and look perfect every day rather than actually being myself. And that's such a hard piece for women to break through, to actually learn to love ourselves on the inside, but also love the body that we've been given. Because no body is perfect, but it's not just these masks around like makeup and how we look. It's, you know, things like people pleasing, showing up for everyone else ahead of yourself, not to create healthy boundaries, not to say no. Like these are all things that we've been conditioned with. And through the medicines, through yoga, through breath work, through the sisterhood and connection, we get to unpeel these layers and take these masks off and actually be who we want to be rather than who we've been told to be. And that is such a beautiful process. Not always easy, you know. I'd love to say the whole process is easy. It's not. Even in the retreat, right, I was facing some really hard things. But also, I mean, I remember I said to someone yesterday, I don't remember laughing that much. I can't even remember the last time, because we cried together, but we laughed so much. There was so much joy, so much pleasure, so much happiness, and it really showed like the polarities of emotion that everything can coexist, right? We can be, in one moment there could be sadness, there could be anger, there could be frustration. And in the next moment, there could be love and happiness and joy and fulfillment, whereas we suppress emotions, right? So like something comes up, we just fucking hold on to it and keep holding on to it, which leaves us feeling like crap. Whereas actually, if we express that, move that energy through the body, we open ourselves up to the pleasure, the joy, the happiness, the fulfillment, and it can all coexist rather than us, you know, that I get really frustrated with like toxic positivity, right? Again, this is another thing we've been conditioned with, is like, and I remember I used to be like this. I've just always got to be okay. I've got to put this mask on and tell everyone I'm fine and I'm the strong one, and, you know, keep going. Where what I wasn't doing is honoring, and I was suppressing and not honoring any of the lower vibration emotions, which just, they kept me stuck. They kept me like energetically stuck, so I couldn't experience the magic that is available to us. Plant medicines really show us that. that's how I learned to reconnect with my emotions through breath work and plant medicine, because it was like, it's safe to feel all of this. And then because I was feeling the hardest stuff, like this ecstasy, pleasure, happiness, love, like I'd never experienced before. And it's all it's showing us is what is available to us. That's not something that I only get to feel when I'm on a plant medicine journey. I can now feel that in my day-to-day life.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the beautiful things. These medicines that we work with create a heart expansion, which until you experience it, is you cannot comprehend it logically. The expansion is incredible. The heart has a magnetism which is many more times the magnetism of our brain. So when we tap into this space, it literally changes your life. And as you said, the medicines open certain things up for us, allow us to experience certain states of expansion, love, consciousness, which we can then remember that and apply in our daily lives. So as you said, we actually walk around after that feeling more expanded, feeling more loved, feeling more connected to our beautiful center.
And then we're able to move through challenges with so much more ease. And I think that's a big, life happens, shit happens, there's ups and downs, there's highs and lows. But what often happens is when things aren't going well, people spiral. And this was my old pattern. I would just spiral like into the depths and get stuck there. But now, and as you know, even in the last few weeks, I've been moving through a lot myself. But I've always been able to tap back into joy and happiness and peace and play and pleasure. Yes, things have been challenging, but it's like I don't have to spiral into that because I have the tools, I have the awareness, I have the understanding, and I'm able to still feel the higher vibration emotions. And that's such a beautiful part of this path of like turning inwards, of doing the inner work, of working with the medicines, of working with yoga. Is we just learn to be able to deal with life a lot easier.
Yeah. I think it's really important what you just said. One of the things which the medicines have shown me, and I have seen a lot of people who have sat with me in ceremony, it has shown them also, is that every single thing that has happened to us in this life had to happen to us in order to bring us to this very moment right now as we are. And we can often then, the medicines allow us to reflect upon these experiences, which we might have said were negative in the past, but we've been able to understand that it was actually happening for us, not against us. And so the medicines give us a sense of trust in this universe that if we show up for ourselves, if we take courageous steps, if we approach everything in life from this heart space with total respect for all of the other people, all of the other beings in this planet, we're doing everything from this space of love, the universe will take care of us. And we can have that trust.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And then I think another piece I want to just touch on is like the masculine wounds and healing the masculine wound. And obviously you have been such a big piece in my own healing journey. And I'm going to share a little bit about that. I haven't really shared this publicly yet, I don't think, but I've shared publicly. Most people that watch, my stories and follow me on social media know that I had suppressed sexual trauma come to the surface last year, kind of the middle of last year, and I knew I had sexual trauma for about a year. I didn't know what it was. And when it came up, I did like healing work on it and I got myself to a certain level, but there was still something. There was still something that was alive within me. And it was through meeting you and obviously the connection that we have and the safety that you've been able to provide me that final piece of like masculine wounding and sexual trauma left my body. Obviously we journeyed together a lot. You took me through Cambo journeys, and actually it's really one of the Cambo journeys that stands out to me is, I think I remember saying to you, if this piece comes up and if this emotional piece comes up, so I knew there was emotions I hadn't dealt with, can you please just hold me? And you just held me in my grief and in my pain as I sobbed and I cried, and I just felt so safe, and I've never let any man hold me in that way, because I was just really lacking that safety within, and just, and it, it wasn't just the medicine journeys, it was just your presence, the peace that you give, the lot, we had such a blast together, and just that the time that we spent together, I got to let go of the last piece of trauma that was really affecting my life. And, I'll always be grateful for that. And this is one of the pieces that why, I really I wanted you to be there and be in retreats. And because the healing that women can experience, you don't have to have had sexual trauma. Obviously, most women have a masculine wound. And the healing that you can experience just from being in the presence of a divine masculine, a healthy masculine, is it's just incredible. And what I feel you show women is what is available for them, and that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
You work with a lot of women, so the masculine wounding piece has come up for you a lot, I would imagine.
Yeah. I mean, I would say 99% of my clients are women. And so I've gotten used to working with them over the years. I've always been a very masculine person. And I think working now for years with all these women was such an incredible opportunity for me to actually tune into the feminine within me and understand what is this feminine principle, the unpredictability, this kind of snake-like movement, the way that they work with their bodies, the way that they have cycles throughout the month that can go up and down, the way that they're more tapped into emotions and feelings than men. So for me, it was also a journey of getting to know that feminine within me and understand, well, what is it that the feminine needs? And how can I support these women in their evolution? Because as you said, the amount of women that I've come across over the years that have suffered sexual abuse, or as you said, they have some kind of masculine wounding, whether it's related to their father or whatever other circumstances have happened in their life. So for me, it was like, right, how can I support these women? How can I give them that sense of safety? How can I allow them to feel that they can fully express themselves exactly as they want to express themselves? And how can I aid them in their journey of healing? And for me, it's been such an incredible experience to connect with so many women and see them really get over, as you have, get over some serious traumas and really start to flourish. And as you said, gain that confidence again in the masculine, because there's so many lovely men out there who are super sweet and who want to hold women in that safe and loving way. And so, as you said, it's just everything I do in life, I try to lead by example, because you can never tell people, do this, do that. The only way we can make change in this world is by leading by example, and it has to come from the heart space.
That's so beautiful. And I think this piece that you said is like, what do women need? Safety. They need to be in a safe masculine energy, and that's when we are able to let our walls down. That's when we're able to take the masks off. That's when the vulnerability comes out, and that's when we're able to deeply and intimately connect with someone. And that, that's what you provide. It's safe. I remember saying to you at some point, we were together, and I was like, I think we were just hanging out, and I felt tired. But it was like the most beautiful tired I've ever felt, because it was this calmness in my body was felt like, it was just like, you're really safe to just completely relax and to soften. And although I felt really tired, it was such a beautiful feeling, because it was like, oh my God, my nervous system has been like wired for such a long time. And, and I really hope that the women get to experience this in your energy at the retreat. And also, just another piece I want to share is, because like, you're so deep in the work, and you are one of the most enlightened people I have ever met in my whole life. And you do literally embody what you teach. You embody the work, which is so beautiful. And when you're in it, you're deep. Like, you're so present, you're so grounded. When you're not, you're like a 5-year-old child, and so playful, and there's so much laughter and joy, and that is just so magical, because we see a lot, especially on like the spiritual path and the healing path, and like, it can be so serious, you have that when you're in the work, but then you've just got this childlike magnificence to you, and that's something else that the women will get to experience. You know, with this, we're going deep into the work, but there's a lot of play as well.
I mean, as you said, some of the work we do is really serious, especially when we're really shifting through some deeply ingrained patterns or emotions or traumas. It can be serious. But equally, one of my philosophies in life is how crazy and mad can I be and get away with it? Because I want to be silly. I don't want to take life too seriously. Life is too short to always walk around, with the sour face. Like, let's actually enjoy this existence to the fullest. Just like the children do. Look at the children. They're running around. They're having the time of their lives. Like, we should have the time of our lives in every single moment of every single day.
Yeah, and it's beautiful to witness that in you. And honestly, I'm so excited that you're going to be joining us. And just for, I just want to get clear for anyone. Obviously, initially, we weren't going to have a man coming into the space, but it just felt like in my whole body that this is the right thing to do. And even in ceremony when we were together with Mama Aya, I very clearly saw me and you working in medicines in a past life. And just having you there is going to be so incredible. However, it is a women's retreat, so yogi is not going to be present for absolutely everything. Really what we'll do is similar to what we did at the last retreat, is we'll leave it up to the women. Obviously you're going to be leading the Aya, and I'll be supporting you in ceremony. You'll be supporting me in Kambo. You'll be sharing some of your yoga, Kriya yoga with the women as well. There will be space and time for women to just be with women and be really vulnerable within each other. But how much I know the same as the last retreat, everyone's just going to love you and be like, oh, and come and join us, and can we go and play? And,
It's funny. It's funny because you saying that, I was showing to one of my students, I was showing her your web page where it has all the information about the upcoming retreats, and she read that bit at the end saying, but don't worry, there's plenty space in the jungle. Yogi will go away and give us our women's time. And she was like, yeah, right. She's like, you do realize all the women are going to be like, no, come and hang out with us all the time.
So with today as well, is just people like these women being able to connect with your energy. Everyone that I've spoken to that signed up, they've shared about you. They're so excited that you're going to be there. But it's obviously not in person, but people have the opportunity to meet you on screen and connect with your energy and just, be able to see what I see within you, which is just pure magic and love and safety and support. And I just can't wait for that to be shared with everyone in August and September's retreats. And I'm so grateful, for you. Like, we're flying you in from Spain and, you're traveling a long way to support me and support the women. And I'm so excited and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, it's gonna be absolutely epic for anyone that joins. There's no doubt that it will mark a before and after period in their lives if they join those retreats. Their life will never be the same again, and of course, it will change in the most positive ways. It will change beyond your imagination of how much positivity could get brought into the life.
It will, and just for anyone, if you've got the calling, or is it listen to your body? Like, this is the thing, our mind can create resistance and fear and talk us out of it. But if you've got that, it's that gut feeling, it's the feeling in your body, it's your intuition, it's your soul saying, I'm meant to do this, you can do it, you'll find a way. And I'm very open to supporting people in making it happen for them. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to just comment on this feed once we post it, and either myself or you, Yogi, will go in and answer those. I didn't touch on them, a few comments popping up as we went along. A couple of the girls that are joining, I told them to join anyway. So Jess is there, Catherine's there, like they're super excited, and then also one of your students, I think it's Nicola, She said something about, like, when we were talking about the Kriya Yoga, like how it's absolutely transformed her life. And just for everyone that has been commenting, we have been noticing, we just haven't touched on them all. So just thank you for interacting. And yeah, we're just super excited to support you.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful day with farmers market. And I'll chat to you later for sure. Thank you, Yogi.